Dear Railroads Online, since your creation 3 years ago, Railroads Online has brought moments of joy, challenge, and frustration to its player base. Over 20,000 players have engaged with the game, and many more are sure to join in the future. However, as of December 2024, a notable shift in the community's mood has emerged across platforms like Discord, Reddit, and YouTube. We, the players, have one resounding message. We want to play Railroads Online, but right now, we cannot. With the release of version 1.0 and its expansion to consoles, the stage seems set for a new chapter. Old, current, and new players alike approach the update with high hopes for a stable, fun, and content-rich experience. What did we encounter instead? Mixed reactions and an incomplete product. As someone who's followed Railroads Online closely since its early access days, and as someone who gained early insight into the new release, I had high expectations. My initial experiences were promising, with minimal bugs and smooth gameplay. But now, as both a client and a fan, I've encountered numerous issues that disrupt the experience. Here are just a few examples. Clients cannot interact with engine sheds, cooling towers, or industries when it comes to placing track. If a client leaves, the game crashes for everyone except the host. Upon rejoining, the driving UI often locks up, rendering it unusable. On PlayStation 5, players starting a new save cannot attach the Montezuma tender. These problems are not isolated. Players across various platforms have voiced their frustrations. I've seen comments on my YouTube videos, complaints on Reddit, Facebook posts, and countless discussions on Discord. Even friends of mine, once optimistic about the update, have changed their opinions almost overnight. To better understand the community's feelings, I reached out directly. I took screenshots from Reddit and messaged players on Discord with a singular request. Hey, I am working on an important video talking about the community's feeling towards the state of RO. If possible, I would like for you to give me your honest opinion and feedback about RO for me to use in my video. For each reply, I asked a follow-up question. Thank you. What would be your advice or suggestion to make the game better? I compiled their responses, and here's what they had to say. First is Roberto. Well, I believe that, as of right now, the game is on the poorer end of the performance spectrum. As we saw while playing GCR, the Gnarly Corners Railroad, we were constantly having crashes, bad FPS, and an industrious amount of desync, at least in multiplayer. I would say perhaps it would be best for the development team to focus on achieving the performance standards set by the updates prior to the latest one, or an even higher standard and maintaining it. The content we were handed was neat, but was sort of overshadowed by those issues. Thank you. What would be your advice or suggestion to make the game better? Put as much focus on improving performance and eliminating related issues as possible. Next is Neon Texan. I think my only gripe is how poorly optimized the game is. I'm pretty happy with it. Maybe the track laying is an issue too, but I was never good at that. Like whenever I play, I think about how choppy it will run even with hardly anything built, and it just puts me off from wanting to play. Thank you. What would be your advice or suggestion to make the game better? I guess focus on performance. There's no reason I should be able to run a modern AAA game on my setup with little to no issues and average 20 FPS on a train sim. Sorry if I sounded like a broken record. Next is Cold Soup 69. Honest opinion and feedback on RRO, I'm going to treat this as I'm writing a review on Steam. Rating, 4 out of 5 stars. Railroads Online is an open world sandbox featuring narrow gauge railroad equipment, setting itself apart from a lot of other games in the genre. The single player experience is unmatched. The performance is great, and with the option of downloading other people's saves or starting your own from scratch, the amount of replayability is absolutely insane. That being said, the online part of Railroads Online, to me, is still a little bit lacking. The multiplayer performance has been an issue for me since early on. Popcorning/desync have been fixed numerous times, but even upon the game's official release, I've still been experiencing constant jittering in the trains, cars floating off the rails, locomotives coming to a dead stop client side, but the host side is doing 50 derailing into a ditch. That's what ruins the multiplayer experience for me. But overall, this game is incredible. It's come a long way since I started playing, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Thank you. What would be your advice or suggestion to make the game better? Better multiplayer optimization somehow. I get my PC may not be a supercomputer, but there shouldn't be any reason that I can't run really well in single player. but in multiplayer I lose over half my frames and desync ruins the entire thing. LOL. Next is TSFRJ. I'm feeling happy with the current state of RO on Steam/PC. The new map and DLC is good and fairly priced. The community managers are handling community well and have always been friendly, informative, and knowledgeable within reason. I play mainly in single player and have little to no issues. Depending on regions and internet connection of the host, most of my multiplayer sessions go well. Those outside of my own country, even when using SAM download region, has what I call stable desync. It's desync, but it is a consistent desync. I love how when purchasing more than one rolling stock, each one is numbered more than the one before it. My gripes are the crossings are listed as crossovers, and we don't yet have a maintenance shop for repainting, lettering, and numbering of rolling stock, and no means of selling back unneeded rolling stocks. Overall, I'm having a stable and enjoyable experience, and knock on wood, the game is running smoothly for me. Thank you. What would be your advice or suggestion to make the game better? Continue multiplayer online optimizing. Private servers so players can have always online worlds similar to how Minecraft has realms. DLC with at least one piece of rolling stock or new paint schemes with 5 or more props for $2.99 every 2 or 4 months. Limited time holiday content only accessible during the holidays. Have console platform paint jobs that are free for their console but purchasable on other versions. Example, a green Xbox logo paint job, free for Xbox owners, but can be bought for $0.99 on Steam or PS5. Our next user, Madwaffle, is somebody I respect, and his opinion saddened me. In my personal opinion, I have lost all hope I once had for the game. Most of the multiplayer issues such as popcorning and constant crashes were fixed. However, when 1.0 released, all these issues returned. I think the new content could have been implemented much better as well. What could have been done was, all of the content featured both in the Pioneer and the Explorer DLCs could have been implemented in the base game, and the 2 Uinta locomotives could have been in their own respective DLC. Another issue I have is with the Uinta 2662. Whenever the locomotive derails, it seemingly glues itself to the ground. Overall, the game is extremely flawed, and personally, I think what should have happened a long time ago is the RO team should have started over on a brand new game without the existing expectations that came with RO. Our next user, Bigishen, gave me a lot to discuss. However, as I am pressed for time, I want to give you a summary I created. Bigishen said, "It doesn't feel like Railroads Online is ready to be called a polished 1.0 release. Astragon may have rushed the console launch in its current state. A major issue is the placement of industries, making them placeable like water towers seems out of place. This functionality would be better suited to be a separate mode. Additionally, the game lacks polish across many areas. For example, during my latest session, I posted 3 bug reports feedback items on Steam. While these were minor issues that didn't affect gameplay progression, they were still frustrating to encounter. Here are some specific issues. There is a general lack of polish, bugs like the Uinta mallet's incorrect weight distribution, random strings with inconsistent capitalization, mismatched unit systems, metric for track building, imperial elsewhere, and both kilograms and pounds for car loads. Physics glitches. Tree and rocks behaving erratically when cut down. Collision issues. Inconsistent collisions on derailed cars, especially when upside down. Parallel track tool. It ignores my custom exit construction mode keybind, right click, and instead requires backspace. EULA error. There is a time where the EULA intentionally disallowed multiplayer. As discussed here, this should have been caught by legal review pre-release. Overall, these issues reflect a lack of refinement that undermines the experience. I hope these can be addressed to make the game more polished and enjoyable. What you listened to was less than half of the replies I collected. We can also find similar concerns found on the Railroads Online subreddit. Out of these 4, I would like to focus on this one here. This post saddens me, and I felt like bringing a light to what this user had to say. I love this game with all my heart, and I genuinely want this game to do well. But with this said, there are some issues that desperately need fixing before it should be on console. The physics sometimes acts completely randomly. For example, there's this curve that I always have to go slow on, and I've done it without a problem like 30 times. But when I put a double header on it, it just flings cars off the tracks going 10 miles per hour. Or cross tracks just derailing you for no reason. Another issue is that when weather changes, it absolutely tanks frame rate. I almost lost a save because when loading the save that had the active blizzard, it literally froze my entire computer. I have a pretty good PC. I don't know how someone on console could run this game without crashing. I seriously want to enjoy this game, but these issues are hard to ignore. The feedback is consistent and melancholy. The community is not happy. We wanted stability and a polished experience, but instead, we feel let down. The early access shield no longer applies, and the time for excuses has passed. Rails Online has incredible potential, but if the optimization, performance, and stability are not prioritized in the first half of 2025, this game will head to suicide. We are not asking for miracles. The content and the concepts of the game are already strong. What we need now is attention to the details that make gameplay seamless and satisfying. The community wants this game to succeed, and we want you, the developers, to be the ones who lead it to success. As someone who considers many of you friends, Goku, Captain, Sandy, Hornet, and others, I'm speaking from a place of care and concern. I've argued with, laughed with, and created memories with this community. We believe in this game, and we say that performance must become the priority. To everyone who watches this video, I hope you can share this message and help spread it across the community. This game is good, and together with our support, we can push our developers to do more and make it the best it can be. To those who despise Rails Online, let this message say that this game is not done. The community is hungry, and we will push RO to be the best it can be. When it comes to other simulators like Railroader or Century of Steam, we will do the same. If these companies do not consider the court of public opinion, then it is on us to change it and make sure they hear us. For those who made it to the end of the video, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the holiday season and find some moments of relaxation. I will keep looking forward to the future of Rails Online, and it's not over just yet. My name is Kist, and as always, thank you for watching. Bye bye.